This is a fun lesson. It's about how to buy stuff and not pay too much. It's about how to buy stuff and get the best possible bargain. And I got to tell you, I enjoy getting a deal. I go at it maybe a little differently than some people. I go at it a little differently than even my wife, but I enjoy getting a deal. And you know, it's interesting to me. When I first started teaching this stuff, I kind of grew up in a household where we called it horse trading. We never had any horses, but we called it horse trading. You know, getting a deal on something, going out and bargain shopping, trying to find somebody that needed to sell something. And when I first started teaching people how to negotiate and get bargains, I had people come up to me that were offended. They would say, well, now, goodness gracious, if someone were to give you a deal, then if you were to negotiate and get a deal from someone, then you must have taken advantage of them. You know, that is a strictly American concept for someone to even think that way. Every other culture you visit all around the world negotiates everything. Negotiation is a way of life. If you've ever gone across the border of the United States to the south, to the north, if you've gone overseas anywhere, if you've been in the Caribbean, I mean, there are actual cultures that are insulted if you do not engage them in a negotiation to do a purchase. But not us. No, we get in our fleeced car, running on credit card gas, driving on a bond-financed highway. We go to the mall and pay 120% of retail and think we got a deal because it said sale over it. And never once asked if there was a better price available. We just pay the piper. I mean, it is so ingrained in other cultures that, well, we had these friends that were missionaries, and I think they'd been on the mission field maybe a little too long. You ever run into those folk? They were out there a little too long. We should have reeled them back in a little sooner. I mean, she comes home, and she's here about 3 weeks. They've been out there years on the mission field. She's home about 3 weeks. We think this woman's going to get arrested. She's in the mall going, I want a better deal. And the woman's going, call security. I mean, because she was up in their face trying to get a bargain. That is the way most cultures around the world think, but not us. And so I want to tell you first that it is okay to get a deal. It's okay to get a deal, but I'll go ahead and give you some rules so that you understand when it's okay to get a deal. It's okay to get a deal if you didn't lie to get the deal. You in no way misrepresented the truth.
First blank, misrepresented.
You didn't tell them that your child was ill and that, all of this if your child wasn't ill. I mean, and you don't use some kind of whacked out con artist thing to try to get a bargain. That's not what we're trying to do here. Now, of course, you've not set out to harm the other party. The intent of you getting a deal was not just to be abusive somehow in the process. Your intent to get a deal was just simply to get a deal. And, of course, you've approached this whole process of buying a deal from a win-win perspective. Now, I got to tell you, the stuff I'm going to teach you in this lesson, most of you have done it once or twice. Many of you have done it quite a bit. It would be the rare person in here who, as I teach this lesson, you go, wow, I've never heard that. That's not what you're going to say. You're going to go, well, I knew that. But what I want to emphasize at the beginning and at the end and in the middle of this lesson is that you make this a way of life, not just the occasional story that happened and you get to tell it. I want it to be your way of looking at things from this point forward. Make getting a bargain a way of life. The first key to opening the door to huge bargains is learning to negotiate everything. Just start with the idea.
Negotiate.
Everything is negotiable. At some price, in some quantity, on some delivery date, Everything is negotiable. Last year's model, last year's color, I don't know what it is, but at some point, just about anything you want to buy, you can buy at a deal. Just get in that mindset. I will not accept retail as a way of life anymore. I'm going to start with the basics and say I'm going to negotiate everything. And if you approach it with really understanding what a win-win deal looks like, you won't be afraid to ask for it. Win-win deals really do work, so don't be afraid to ask for the deal. One of the best books I've ever read on negotiating was by William Ury and Roger Fisher. It's called Getting to Yes. Getting to Yes. And if you don't know who William Ury and Roger Fisher are, they're the guys that are professional, world-renowned negotiators. They sit in things like with Jimmy Carter and the Camp David Accord. Major negotiations between countries and diplomats. They sit down, and the thing they talk about is that win-win really does work. And the way you can discover as you purchase something or as you engage in negotiation, how do you discover how to help the other party win? You have to gather information. He with the most information about the whole deal, including the other party involved, he with the most information has the best opportunity to design a win-win and will win the negotiation most of the time.
I am sure that your parents at some point or other have had to negotiate something. So after watching this video, I hope that you'll ask your parents for their greatest win story from negotiating. My parents, I asked them their greatest win story, and I think this is just one of their favorite ones, but my parents were in Mexico, and my mom saw a marble chess set that she kind of wanted. It wasn't like super important to her, but she was interested in it, went and asked about it. It was for sale for $89. And my mom was like, well, that's like too expensive. My kids are probably going to break it. So that's a no deal. So they walked away and started heading back towards their car. The man came running out after them and said, well, what about $75? They said, no, I think we're just going to pass. Came back again. What about $63? What about 58? He kept coming back as they were leaving. He kept chasing them. And finally, at the end of the story, the man said, fine, take it for $14. And so they got themselves a marble chess set for $14. We hear stories like this a lot taking place in other countries because it is a way of life, like Dave Ramsey's talking about. But it is also a way of life here. It's just something that people don't take advantage of. And so in the next video, you're going to see some of the things that Dave Ramsey recommends to make this a way of life for you as well.